In this video, we're going to show you how to insert a selection of our accessories for Hi280. Before you start any installation, you need to read through the supplied user manual and safety instructions. Check that you have all the components to assemble the system and any necessary tools and protective equipment. We always advise that you should wear gloves. The base plinth sits at the front of the system and prevents items from going under the bottom shelf. It is used in conjunction with a shelf beam and shelf. The rear shelf beam needs to be installed 100 mm from the floor. The base plinth connects to the upright in the same way as a shelf beam. It has 2 hooks per end, which need to be hooked onto the bottom 2 lugs of the upright. It should be installed in the lowest position. The shelf sits on top of the base plinth and hooks into the shelf beam at the rear of the system. A sloping shelf is made up of 2 shelf beams and 2 steel infill shelf panels. Fit the front beam first. Measure 170 mm up from the top of the shelf beam for the top height of the rear shelf beam. They are offset vertically by 170 mm. Fit the rear shelf beam. The sloping shelf infill panels can only fit one way. Check the direction of the lips. When held at an angle, the lips should be vertical. Insert the lips into the hooks on the shelf beams. Push down so it's firmly in place. Add the second panel in the same way. Bin fronts are often used with sloping shelves as they prevent items from falling off the shelf. They can be fitted at the front or rear of the shelf. They sit discreetly against the shelf and hook into the lugs on the upright. They can be stacked on top of each other to create a higher retaining lip. The garment rail is comprised of 2 brackets and a tube rail. Determine the height you want the rail to be installed. The brackets hook onto the lugs of the frames. Attach the first bracket and check the height with a tape measure. Measure down on the second frame for the position of the second bracket to ensure they are level. The tube rail slots into the grooves in the bracket. Depending on your application, there are 3 potential notch locations that the tube rail can be mounted on the brackets. Ensure that the tube rail is securely inserted in the appropriate bracket notch at each end. For tire storage, you need 2 brackets and 2 tube rails. Attach the brackets to the frames in the same way as with the garment rail. Consult your supplied documentation for the correct height. The tube rails need to be inserted in the 2 outermost positions. Full height dividers can be used to subdivide the shelf into smaller compartments. Check that the shelf pitch is set correctly for the size of divider you are using. The divider is secured by 4 pins that slot into the oval holes in the shelf and shelf beams. The top pins are longer than the bottom ones. Insert the top pins into your chosen holes and push up until they are fully located, enabling you to align the bottom pins and drop the divider into place. Ensure that the divider is vertical. Part height dividers are another method to subdivide a shelf level into smaller compartments. The part height divider is secured to the oval holes in the shelf. The direction they should be inserted is determined by the shape of the divider. The beveled edge should be at the front. Thank you for watching our video on how to install a selection of our most popular Hi280 shelving accessories.